Welcome to the activity portion of this Google Drawings class. So what we're going to do now is, in this first activity, is to deconstruct an existing template so you can kind of get an idea of how they're used and see something that's already there. So there's a presentation I've been using, as you've seen, throughout this course, and we're going to open it. You have a copy of it yourself, so if you click on in the resource section, it should say slide deck. There's also a PDF of the same exact thing where all the links are there. But we're going to go into it and look at it and be able to take a particular example and force a copy, and then we're going to go into it and kind of make it our own. All right, so we're now looking at the presentation, and again, it's the same thing on the PDF, but if you just go through the pages, you can kind of see as you hover over, there's a link like that turns into a hand instead of an arrow. And so I'm going to go find one that would be easy to modify, but also something that's kind of already there just to give us some practice. And let's do this one with the shapes. So I'm going to click on it, and what it's going to do is it's going to say, would you like a copy of this shape activity? So just click on make a copy. And then now you'll have your own copy. Of course, it'll say copy of. So this bypasses the opening up in view and then making a copy. And so let's just do some changes to this activity just so we can see. So this involves shapes. It's got text in here. Okay, and notice on the text, it's kind of spread out over this whole thing. So you can see they're all in there. And then it has different lines. But these are just lines themselves, not tables. So you're not actually putting in the table. It's got regular text here and these shapes. All right, so let's do a couple things just to make sure we know how to modify anything. So the first thing I might want to do is take all the text and maybe change it. So by holding down the shift button, I'm able to highlight all the text, and I still have my different fonts up here, and I can go ahead and change it to something else I may want. There we go. Maybe I like that font, or you know what, I want to change the size a little bit. Let's go up to about 8. Oh, let's go up to about 36. Oh, that's too much. All right. So we have those, and I notice this isn't really centered, so maybe I want to center it so I can kind of put it in between and hit my center button up at the top and do the same thing here. Depends on, you know, how neat and organized you want it, but just trying to show you, you can just take something existing. All right, so now we have all these lines and they're ready to go. So now I have all these shapes, but I don't like them in this blue with the black background. So what I'm going to do is highlight all of the shapes, but it looks like I've selected more than that. So sometimes it's easier just to hold down the control button and click on each shape, or draw a small line kind of through the middle here, and it should select them all. So now they're all selected, and now I have my shape color to be able to use, and maybe I want to have it have no background or no outline. All right, so now I have those, but I want to put them maybe to the side here, so that way I can have some sort of instructions or directions over here. Now, see how I'm moving them one at a time? I could also just go through and grab them that way. I have to click on this outside because it looks like this outside here is a border. And now I can move them all this way here. And remember, you have your little align tools, so if you're trying to make them look somewhat neat, you can align them with each other, and you can see the spacing that's in between. There we go. So now I have shape. So now it allows me to put something else in here. So maybe I do another text box and I write some sort of directions or something like that. You know, maybe they have to put their name on it or something like that. Please sort the shapes on the right in the columns indicated in the or on the sheet or on the canvas, however you want to describe that. And I might highlight this and make this a little bigger. There we go. So now they have directions. And then this is ready to go activity. If you wanted to do the same thing, this could be put in Google Classroom. But as you can see, we've just taken something somebody else has and we're just modifying it slightly. So I can move the lines over if I needed to, give more space, undo stuff. So that's our first activity. What I want you to do now is either finish this one or find another one out there and modify it. There's so many good examples in here, these drawing templates, note at KWL charts. All of these will open up a special folder and have them in there so you can modify it specifically for something you're doing. All right, so now that you know where we're starting and what you have for your assigned first activity, go ahead and tackle it. I'm here to help. Feel free to message me or ask a question if you're in the middle or you get stuck with something, and I'll be glad to help. See you for the next activity.